Hello and welcome into the Remix. I'm Brianna Pitts. Everyone is looking for comfort food in the winter, and it's even better when that cozy meal is quick and easy to make. In this week's The Remix Restaurant Row, Chris Tanaka spoke with the owner of Dumpling Daughter.
Lunar New Year's on the 29th this year. Of course, it marks the first new moon of the lunar calendar. Part of celebrating it is all of the fun festivities, and of course, food is central to the culture. Nadia Liu Spellman from Dumpling Daughter is here, a foodie star. Thank you so much for joining us. You're going to make it easy for people to have some delicious Asian food and celebrate the Lunar New Year, right?
That is the goal. The goal is to share dumplings, and the one thing everyone should eat during the Chinese and Lunar New Year is dumplings. They represent wealth. They represent good luck and plentiful year.
And not only do you have your brick and mortar locations, but now you are distributing more than ever, and you make it so easy to cook. So we're doing it, we're boiling, wonton style, right?
Yeah, you know, this is how my grandmother used to make it, and
Yeah.
It's very warm and cozy, especially in the Lunar New Year. It's cold outside in New England. I love it boiled, so that's how we'll do it.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
All right, and it's gonna be quick and easy. You just start boiling right from the store shelf, out of the package, into the water.
Yes, we're going right into the water.
Amazing. And of course, with the dumplings, I'm half Japanese, so they're gyoza in my house. You can do these also as a pan fry and
Yes.
a deep fry.
Yeah, I would say that pan searing it and boiling it are the most popular.
Yeah.
And in America, deep frying has become quite popular with the dumplings. But in China, you mostly boil and pan sear. And you know, gyoza popularly is very, very thin skinned.
Yeah.
And so those are commonly pan seared or steamed.
Yeah.
Whereas our original dumpling is al dente, a little thicker skin.
Yeah.
And so it can be boiled. It's quite durable and
Yeah.
easy to cook.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us about some of these. You're exclusively at Market Basket now, right?
Well,
and online too?
Well, we do have a lot of SKUs at Market Basket.
Okay.
We are in about 3,000 stores now.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it's really unbelievable sometimes. I can't believe it. We have our dumplings at Market Basket. We also released new SKUs with Market Basket. So we have crab rangoons and scallion pancakes, and those are our newest SKUs exclusive to Market Basket. And we're also available at BJ's, Roach Brothers, and a lot of the independent, beautiful gourmet markets around New England.
This is fantastic. This came straight from the family kitchen. And you are a savant marketer, obviously, and you've got a good team that's with you here. Let me ask you this, personally vested, how do you break out of a traditional Asian dish and make your foods so amenable to a non-Asian or non-Asian American audience?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that our food at Dumpling Daughter is really centered around my childhood comfort food.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in fancy restaurants. My parents' place was 5-star. Julia Child was eating there. And that was banquet style. But what I want to bring to people is the comfort food, the food that I loved growing up. Very simple. Everyone has their comfort food. This is mine. And it's easy to share because it's delicious and convenient.
Yeah, absolutely. When we have chefs and restaurateurs in here, I always have to ask, and I'll ask the same of you. When you're at home and you're cooking, is it enjoyable? Is it work? Can you go to the freezer and just grab a box and be like, this is me, this is an extension of me, so I am still cooking? Or do you make them by hand?
It depends on my time, right? If I have a lot of time, it's a Sunday and I'm with the kids, I'll roll out the fresh dough.
Yeah.
But I'm usually not that free because I'm a pretty busy mom and
You got your team here, so I would imagine, yes, you have some busy days.
But you know, during the weekdays, you'll never catch me making fresh dumplings. That's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Right.
But on the weekends, we do like to make them fresh.
Yeah.
The kids get involved. They play with the dough. They like to have their friends over. We do it as an activity, and then you have a
that's
delicious
fun.
meal after. And so our cookbook actually shares our family recipe
That's
of
amazing.
all different kinds of stuffings. But you know, during the weekday, when you need something in a pinch, I go to my freezer.
Absolutely.
And it's like boiling ramen or easier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I love about our product is that you're really having a fresh food with cabbage and chicken and dough and everything all in one bite.
Yeah.
And so it's convenient and it's delicious and your kids feel like you really treated them. But all you did was boil some dumplings.
And you know what? When you have to make them, when you're time crunched, it becomes a chore. It's like, oh my gosh, I wish this process could go faster.
Easy.
But
so easy.
when you cook it like this, easy, tasty, delicious.
Here we are chatting and now we have a whole meal ready.
Exactly.
So this plate
Okay,
is
so you're
actually
getting
from
ready
my
to plate.
parents' restaurant in the 80s.
Wow.
I love using that to celebrate what has happened in the last 40 years.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. All right, this is the part where we have to call Penny out.
Look at
Again,
these
she's on mic, so she's
beautiful-
gonna be mute here, but
Penny, these are hot, okay?
yeah,
Penny usually goes to our restaurant in Brooklyn. That's where you'll see her.
that's right. Look.
And I don't know which sauce. I don't know which sauce you like, Penny. Do you like the spicy sweet soy or the ginger soy?
My favorite sauce is the spicy sweet soy.
Okay, so
Spicy
put
sweet.
some
Okay,
on your plate
Penny
there.
just said spicy
We can
sweet. Careful, the
slide them
pressure's on.
Okay.
You can slide them on. Fantastic.
And you know, these are hot and they're juicy. So
Oh, look at that! Oh my gosh, hold that still, Penny.
look at these gorgeous dumplings.
Wow, 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 wow. That is so rich. Oh my gosh.
Would you like to try
Oh,
one?
absolutely.
All right, here we go. Let's
Fantastic.
slide one onto your plate.
Fantastic. And I will also have the new
Spicy
spicy.
sweet soy. You know what? Have
All
some
right.
fun with it. Have some
Oh,
ginger soy.
oh,
Let's
whoa.
get crazy, you know?
Wow. Okay. Are we cheersing our
They're
dumplings?
hot, you guys. They
All
are.
right. Mmm.
Here comes
Oh, they're
Penny.
so good. Delicious.
They never miss.
They're our restaurant dumplings.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Those are restaurant quality.
You can taste the difference.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Different from gyoza, right? You grew up
Different.
eating
Oh,
gyoza.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still. All right, Penny. There, Penny gave it the kiss of approval. Couple of bows. Nadia, thank you so much for being in here and sharing Dumpling Daughter with us. Get out there, celebrate Lunar New Year. It's for everybody. Nadia, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Comedienne Katthy Griffin is coming to Boston with her unique and sometimes in-your-face takes. Brandon Truitt has that interview next. Plus, film critic Ty Burr's take on this year's Oscar nominations and which actress and actor has the best chance to take home that gold statue. She is an Emmy and Grammy award-winning comedian who's been in the game for decades. Katthy Griffin's latest tour is set to open at Boston Symphony Hall on January 31st. WBZ's Brandon Truitt caught up with her ahead of her arrival.
Symphony Hall, can you believe it?
Hey, it's a pretty good venue.
I mean, I don't know that there's ever been anyone more inappropriate for Symphony Hall than me. And yet I am so grateful. I had the honor of playing it one time before. And after a few years of, how shall I say, a little rockiness in my life, that let's just deal with the elephant in the room, started with the Trump decapitated head picture, where I was put on the no-fly list, the Interpol list, which is the international version of the no-fly list, the Five Eyes list, which is the terror watch list. It makes it a little difficult to tour. But honestly, I have so much gratitude. I didn't think I would ever be able to play Symphony Hall again. And the fact that I get to stand on that stage, I'm not religious, but I call it the church, is just a miracle to me. So I'm bringing 2 hours if I'm a good girl, 2 hours and 15 minutes if I'm a bad girl, and I cannot wait. And I have no opening act, so be on time. I get right into it. I write all my own stuff. Don't worry, I don't go in the crowd and bother you. You can just sit back and relax and blow off steam, but we will be making fun of people, places, and things.
Well, you know, I saw you last year in Providence, Rhode Island, and you were relentless for honestly 220. I will say, Katthy, 220 nonstop. It was incredible. And you're one of those like old school acts who just is a storyteller. I mean, you bring the heat every time. I got to know now, a year later, who's in the act that wasn't? How has it changed? What are we going to hear?
Okay, so first of all, I have one story about going on vacation with Sia, the chandelier singer.
Oh, we know her.
And I actually have her permission to tell it, which I don't think has ever happened. And it's funny, we went on a vacation and everything went wrong, but it's actually a love letter to her as well. It's not mean. I have a story about, I just got divorced and I'm heartbroken. And so I talk about it because everybody knows what it's like to be heartbroken. And I talk about going to Jane Fonda's house and she looked after me. And once again, it's not mean, but it is funny. And I even went and leaned on Sharon Stone, and I adore her, and she's very, let's go with unique, and I just love her, and so the audience gets it. And I also talk a lot about PTSD because I've been diagnosed with it, and I think that's kind of funny in itself because I only thought it was for combat veterans, but I guess I'll believe what the doctors tell me. And I do tackle everything that's happened in the last few years since I was blacklisted by my own industry, which has been really painful. But once again, I make light of everything, most of all myself. But I do talk about when I became addicted to prescription pills, and I'm now 4.5 years sober. But there are parts of that that are funny. And I just feel like, you know what? Everyone in that audience has been touched by addiction in some way, shape, or form. So to me, that makes it fair game.
Well, you can catch Katthy Griffin at Boston Symphony Hall on Friday, January 31st. You can find tickets at bso.org. The Oscar nominations are out. A movie about a Mexican cartel that turns into a musical led the nominees. And that same film made history by having the first transgender person nominated. Film critic Ty Burr shared some thoughts about his picks for Best Actress and Actor with our executive producer.
And who do you see winning Best Actress and Best Actor?
Best Actress is a really tight field, honestly. It could go to Demi Moore for sort of a sentimental. I mean, if you saw her, she won the Golden Globe and gave a very touching speech. And this is a movie about aging. What happens to Hollywood stars, Hollywood women stars when they age, and that's obviously going to hit close to home. So that she's got a good shot at it. So does Carla Sofia Gascon for this just operatic performance and the chance to maybe make a bit of history. I think those are the two leaders. But then Fernanda Torres, the Golden Globe. So Who knows? And an actor where we have Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman DeMille for a little film called Sing Sing, which I urge everybody to go see. It's wonderful. And Sebastian Stan playing the young Donald Trump in The Apprentice. I think, again, that's a very strong field. Brody has already won once for playing a Holocaust survivor. Chalamet may be too young. I do wonder if this might be Ralph Fiennes' year because he's never won an Oscar. I think he's only been nominated once or twice. He's a really admired, even loved actor, and he's quite wonderful in a very low-key role in Conclave. My sense, and maybe it's just my hope, is that it might be his year.
The 97th Academy Awards will be hosted by Conan O'Brien on Sunday, March 2nd. Well, a pickleball palace at the Natick Mall that doubles as an incredible eatery. Still to come on the ReMix, from salads to smoothies. We'll show you the best things to grab at Bosse before or after a game on the court. Well, joining us now is Chef Chris Coombs and the Chef de Cuisine, Sierra Erickson from Bosse in Natick. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
This is the largest indoor pickleball facility in the country. How many square feet?
Just under 100,000 square feet.
Okay, 100,000 square feet. This place is huge. And you might be wondering, what does pickleball have to do with eating? Well, this facility actually includes 4 different dining options. So there is a cafe, a sports lounge, a full courtside menu, and a rustic Italian restaurant. It seriously has everything. Tell us about this concept. How did it kind of come to be?
Sure. So something for everyone at Bosse and Natick. We're really excited to be out in Metro West in the former Neiman Marcus space. And when I first decided to surround pickleball and amenitize it with different experiences, we wanted to create a first of its kind, something for everyone. So we've got a cafe that's focused on viennoiserie in the morning, health and wellness during the day. So if you're coming on or going off the court, we've got something just for you. We also have our gym facility, our locker rooms, our hammam. We've got unbelievable Italian restaurant as well. So if you're playing later in the evening, or if you just want to have a destination dinner, Bosse's really the place to go.
You maybe burned a lot of calories playing, and now you have earned pasta.
Right, earned it, or having pasta preemptively so that you have the calories to burn, either way that you want to play it.
Yeah, and these are some of the dishes that you brought here, and it looks really healthy too.
Sure. So when we focused on crafting the cafe, we really did think about the athletic component of pickleball, right?
Yeah.
So some people play just for leisure. They'll enjoy our courtside menu, eat and drink, have fun with their friends. But then we also want to really address the serious pickleball players. And that serious pickleball player, they're looking for smoothies, they're looking for grain bowls, salads, meal prep, acai bowls, and smoothies. So we wanted to do all those things really, really well and really thoughtful, and it's been so well received thus far.
They need fuel.
Absolutely.
To pickle, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so one of the things that you have at the cafe you mentioned are smoothies, which kind of give you that great energy boost, and you always feel so good after you have a smoothie. smoothie and a workout, that's like the best combo ever.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're gonna make a smoothie for us today. If you can just quickly tell us what flavors we have here.
All right, so here today we have our green smoothie on the right. In the middle is our antioxidant blast, which is what I will be making for you guys. And on the left is our chunky monkey, my personal favorite.
Yeah, I want to eat that one because of course it's chocolate. It looks like the most decadent.
Chocolate and still healthy, the best.
Love that. Okay, but antioxidant sounds really good for January. So walk us through how we make this.
All right, so in the blender, we first start with acai and dragon fruit. We then are going to add coconut milk.
Oh, okay. That's different. I feel like I always do almond milk, so coconut sounds nice.
It's really nice for the texture.
Next, just a little bit of agave.
Okay, sweeten it up a little bit.
And then we're going to finish with some lime juice, just for a little bit of acidity.
Okay.
And then we're going to blend.
Look at that color from the dragon fruit.
The color's beautiful.
Beautiful. Does it stain your teeth? Do you have a nice purple smile?
No. Certainly not. We have something for a purple smile, though, because I have an amazing wine list at the Enoteca. So if you're looking for a purple smile, I can help.
That's where you go to get your purple smile. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. And I do have to try it here. There's a couple of straws. Okay,
Enjoy.
you. All right. Oh my gosh.
Right, so exotic fruits really balance from the acidity. The agave gives it a little bit of punch. And again, you're talking about something that's low calorie, really high on the antioxidants, really good for the diet. You know, I personally have the antioxidant blast with my meal prep. I like a bit of a higher protein diet because I also work out in the facility in the gym, play some pickleball, work a bunch of hours, trying to keep that balance in life.
Yeah, this is insane.
It's so good.
Wow, that is yummy. Okay, and final thing I just want to ask you here, you were mentioning it's a great place to watch sports.
Yeah, so we've just opened our state-of-the-art sports lounge. We've got a viewing theater, we have darts lanes, we have golf simulators. It really is a state-of-the-art sports experience. We're in partnership with DraftKings there, so it's really optimized for the ultimate viewing experience.
Oh, well, I can't wait to come visit. It sounds incredible. I'm going to go home with this. I'm taking this, okay?
Awesome.
All right, Chef Chris Coombs and Chef de Cuisine Sierra Erickson from Bosse over at the Natick Mall. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Well, going inside the life of a pinball wizard, the Boston area player competing at a national level and bonding with his father as the pair fix old machines. The state pinball championships were this month. Players competed to qualify for the national championship later this year. But for one Framingham contestant and his dad, the love of the game goes far beyond the machine. Here's WBZ's Courtney Cole.
Growing up, my dad had a basement full of pinball machines, and I was never super interested in.
For years, Ben Bloomstein just watched his dad fix up vintage arcade games, but it wasn't until the pandemic that he started to play.
Let's get into a game.
Ben's games, though, are a little more modern.
So you sign in using a QR code here.
Ben's never played in the state finals before, having only been playing competitively for about 3 years.
That's when I found competitive pinball, and I had no idea you could even compete. And once I found out you could compete, that's when everything changed for me.
When he's not competing, he also repairs vintage pinball and arcade games alongside his father in their Framingham garage.
This is a mannequin bowler, so he actually throws the ball.
For Ben and his dad, it's more than just arcade games. It's a lifestyle. During the pandemic, business began to boom as more and more people stayed home, rediscovering their old arcade games.
People tell us, oh, it's just one thing that doesn't work. Well, when you get there and the game is 50 or 60 years old, it always involves more than just one thing. So we like to bring them back to the shop here and do what we call the full shop out.
They'll spend more than 10 hours with the machine needing repairs before even turning it on to make sure every part has been thoroughly cleaned and cared for.
Yeah, they were made with some pretty good integrity. I mean, you have to remember that operators were making their living on these games, so they needed to work so that people would put money into it.
But one thing remains the same: the love of the game.
Ben is the player. I'm just the fixer. Once the pinball machines are working, they're no good to me. Get it out of my way and bring me another broken one.
Well, thank you for joining us on the Remix. We'll be back next week for more lifestyle, community, and entertainment news.
Streaming around the clock on CBS News Boston. You're watching WBZ News.
Well, thanks for joining us here on the Best of WBZ. I'm Brianna Pitts. Hours after being officially sworn into office, President Trump issued a number of executive orders, including the end of birthright citizenship in the U.S. The rules of citizenship are clear in our Constitution, and